Do you think race mixing should be illegal?
What? Race mixing? Like
Yeah.
black and white?
Yeah.
No! Absolutely no, I like black guys. And if it was ever banned, I'd probably kill myself because I'd never marry a white guy.
Do you think your father would be proud?
My father hates black guys and he's disappointed in me, so. My father would be very proud. He supports intermixed relationships.
What's going on, good people out there? Welcome back to my channel. Today's content, we are talking about race mixing and the problems that some people have with it. So I'll go ahead and get to it. As I watched this clip and I watched the interview, that obviously people are giving their opinion. I'm someone that I believe that you should marry, date, and be with the person that you truly love. Right? Everybody that's out here in this world is not going to have the same view and not going to agree to the same things that you agree with. You know, just because you're white or just because you're black, you're not going to always see eye to eye with everyone that's within your own community. And the fact that some people are just threatened or have a problem, you know, with certain groups, certain people dating and mixing up interracially, says a lot about them internally. You know, one, it says that, you know, they have some growing up to do. And two, you know, at the end of the day, you know, you're worried about someone else's life that's not even impacting yours in terms of who other people are choosing to date and marry. Now, we can get out here and we can go deep in context with it because I myself, as a black man, have seen it far too often, especially within my own community, where black men will get criticized simply because we choose to date and marry women, white women especially, for, you know, the fact that we like them or love them. So you get comments like, oh, you know, y'all just lust them or they just lust y'all, and, you know, what about the oppressing, the things that historically went on. And I even seen a couple clips about it, you know, where, you know, a black guy was talking about, no, man, you remember what these women did to y'all back in the days? And it's like, dude, like, this is 2025. Like, and one of the main parts of what I don't like about this conversation is that there's always one side and one perspective being pushed. But then I'm so glad other people are really pushed back on it because it's like, a lot of the talking points just don't make sense. Some people just want the right to be prejudiced just to be prejudiced. And if that's how you feel, keep it to yourself. But stop trying to force your way of thinking and how you live onto others. I myself, as a black man, I prefer to date and marry women outside of my own culture. Just based on the views and the politics and the things that I've seen growing up. I didn't like how a lot of the women treated the men. A lot of times I saw, you know, how some of the people were treated within our own community. You know, a lot of the males, you know, how they were treated. But then for some reason, you know, whenever the women were mistreated, it was always called out. There was a lot of double standards. So I prefer women of a different race, and I'm not saying it's perfect, right? But at the end of the day, I choose to live a life where it's a lot different and there's a lot more of a positive aspect of things. But then I see other women who go through it. Sometimes they date outside their race and they're, you know, given the names or the mistreatment because they decided to go outside their own community. And what I don't understand is we live in a day and age where there's so many things going on. People work together of different races. People eat together in different restaurants of different races. You go to movies together. People are being friends and doing different things, and yet you got some people who have this old age way of thinking, that doesn't resonate with today's world and today's society. So, shout out to those young women. Stand up for what you believe in, and continue to date and and do the things that make you happy. Because honestly, in this day and age, especially as a man, and especially as black men, you gotta find the partner that's right for you. And a lot of times that partner is not gonna always look like you have your same skin color, your same background. I grew up in an environment where some black guys were like, yeah, they prefer to date women of our community just because they understand the struggle and so on and so forth. As a black man, I never understood that. Like, I don't care about the struggle. I care about being prosperous and living abundantly, right, with my partner. But then, at the same time, I sit back and I listen to what they were saying, and none of it just made sense. It's like, well, what about just simply being happy with someone? What about just being happy and finding a way to get along with someone? You know what I'm saying? Because in today's day and age, like, this whole race loyalty crap just does not resonate. Like, you will find friends and people outside your community that will connect with you better than people who you grew up with that are family. And it's just the way things work. I found more of that. I found more people who I can resonate with that are far different than people who are in my own family, who have a different set of views and values and perspectives on life. So when I sit back here and I observe, and I watch some of the content, shout out to those women just, living their lives and doing things they say. Then I looked down and I saw, the couple words saying the average mud shark, and I really feel for a lot of the white women that get these bad names, mud shark, these horrible labels simply because you choose to date someone different than your own culture. And honestly, it's not me pointing out or attacking other people, but do what makes you happy, right? I think that even white guys who date Asian or black or whatever, like, those guys are gonna do what makes them happy, right? Just like if black women are gonna marry someone of a different culture, do what the hell makes you happy. But simply put, like, we live in a day and age in a time period where things are not the same as they once were. Things have changed, people are evolving for different and for better. People are growing up in environments and in backgrounds where the realities that they were shown is forcing them to think differently about race and culture. Because I grew up in an environment where, black folks would talk and say some of the most racist things about white folks. But yet, we're some of the most disgusting people towards other black people. And when I saw that, I was like, why would I want to marry and date in this community where people don't even support you? People don't even care about you. But the only thing you can get along with these people with is agreeing that someone white is racist. I don't understand that. So, my thing, go enjoy life, live your life to the fullest, date and marry and be with the people that are best for you. They don't have to look like you. Obviously, people know that. But in this world, this day and age, people like to promote love is love. I promote go do what makes you happy. As a black man, I do that myself now. So thank you for watching my content. If you are new to my channel, please go ahead and feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe to my content. And as I've said before, and I'll say it again, to be conscious is not to be woke. Stay conscious, my friends.